Hi and welcome to Queer Creations. I'm Tara.
And I'm George.
And today is
Granny Square Day.
Granny Square Day. I love a good granny square because they're versatile and you can use them in anything. Like, that's my granny square that I've started. Haven't finished it, but I'm probably not going to finish this one until all that wool is gone. This one was made with a granny square, including the pockets. They are.
I will stand up and show the
stand
pockets.
Up.
They're the pockets.
Yes. It's just 2 granny hexagons, which is if you just add 2 more clusters of 3. I'll show you that in a second. To your first row, like first round, then you'll get the hexagon shape. So the first way to do it is you start with your slip knot and then you create a chain of 4 and then you slip stitch them together. So 2, 3, 4. You go into that V but from the back. You go yarn over, you pull through, and then you continue pulling that one through. So that's just slip stitch them together. And that's how you create the circle. Or there is another way of doing it, which is called the magic circle. This is a bit more complicated. So you lay your yarn across your fingers, you wrap it around, and then you make sure you've crossed them over. So there is a cross on your fingers into there like that. So you go under that one, pull that one through, twist it, pull that one like that. But that is the complicated way of doing it. So for now, until we've mastered that one, we shall just do 4 chains into the top of the V from the back, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. So you're left with a circle that you can work into. So to start it off, for the double crochet, you will need to do 3 chain stitches. You yarn over your hook, you put it into the middle, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again. So to do that, just again, yarn over your hook, into the middle of the circle, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And that creates the first 3 for your granny square. You're then going to yarn over, pull through to create a chain stitch. And then you're just going to keep doing that until you have 4 clusters of 3. So right now I just have 1 cluster of 3. So yarn over into the middle, yarn over again, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over into the middle, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have 3 clusters. Oh, not 3, I've got 2 clusters of 3, and you want to keep going until you have 12 stitches in total and 4 chain stitches. Chain 1. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters and 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. You want to, so here you'll see there's 1 V there, there's 1 V there, 1 V there, and 1 V there. you want to go under that bit and then under that bit to create a secure slip stitch there. Or if you can't do that, then you can just go, so you see that there's a gap there, you can go into there, yarn over, pull through, and then just pull through there. So then you're left with a nice little square. The corners are created by the chain stitches. So the next part, yarn over and just create 3 more like you did here, and you want to work into this one besides like that gap. So yarn over and then yarn over. So yarn over that one. So this is where we started, and this is the gap we're working into. Then you want to chain 1 and work into the corner. So what happens in this corner is different to what happens in the side stitches, because now you'd usually just chain 1 and then you'd work into this one, but that would make it fold weird. So you chain another one, so chain 2. Oh, it's falling. So you want to chain 2, yarn over, and into that same gap that we've just worked a 3 cluster in. So yarn over, into the gap, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and that creates the nice corner you've got there. And you just want to do that around the whole granny. So on this last cluster of 3 that I've just finished, you want to chain 2, and then you want to go back into that gap between the chain and then the first double crochet. It's in there, that's gonna create that square, like that. And that is how you do a granny square, basically. And then you can just keep adding on, making sure you do 2 chain stitches in each corner to create the square shape. Okay, so now we know how to do a granny square. You can now do many things, because you can add pockets to jumpers. Like this one, I've added a pocket here. That's just a starburst granny square.
And there's some really cool ones. Like I've seen some on TikTok where like people have made like egg granny squares.
Yes, there's pumpkin granny squares.
And it's very, very cool.
You can do many things with a granny square. I'm currently creating an ugly blanket here.
With granny squares.
Of granny squares. So, like, it'll just be, yeah, a lap blanket, but I'm going to make it wider. And I've just been using up the yarn that I've had left over from various projects. So with granny squares, they are everywhere in crochet. Everywhere. I started making a granny square top and I didn't like how it turned out, so I ripped it back, and that's all the brown from one ball of wool.
Oh, it's gonna look very cool.
So I'm just gonna keep adding to it, keep doing things
till it's big.
Yeah, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. And whilst I crochet, I really enjoy watching stuff, because it just fills the void of silence sometimes. So I'll either be watching like TikTok or YouTube
or like Netflix,
or Disney Plus. I've been really into watching Dylan Mulvaney recently,
who is an icon.
She is fabulous. There's been an entire news thing going on, and she's just the centre at the minute.
Which we can show here.
And it's just about Bud Light. She was sponsored by Bud Light to do a a video on her TikTok about Bud Light, the beer, and they gave her a 6-pack of cans with her face on.
It's bizarre why people are getting upset about it, really.
Yeah.
Because in, like, my head, like, it's just the same as, like, any celebrity sponsorship. Like, and the only thing they're upset about is that she's trans.
And there's this whole cis, straight, white men.
Old straight.
Old straight, yeah. It's a lot of old. I've gone the wrong way and I've made it wrong.
Obviously not all, but there's a vast majority who are, like, spreading a lot of hate, and it's quite ridiculous. It's quite funny, but also quite harmful.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, because it's quite bizarre that someone would buy a beer for hatred.
It wasn't
when the beer company are going to profit off it, and
it wasn't just like one can. They bought
like a full
separately.
Crate.
They bought a full crate, like multiple crates of beer, just to, like, especially this one guy, just to shoot it with. This was in America, so it was with his AR-15.
Which is another, like, issue, gun crime.
But that is an entirely different kind of thing.
The thing is as well, like, going back to Dylan, is, like, there's, like, a Republican woman who... and it's, like, it's the main argument at the moment about trans and queer people. Of like... I'm pretty sure she was, you said, like, it was a podcast as well.
Yes, it was a podcast.
I just heard about it on TikTok as well.
Her first ever podcast video episode, she called Dylan Mulvaney a paedophile.
I'd like to bring up one of the biggest pedophiles in America today. His name is Dylan Mulvaney, and I won't be referring to him as a she or her.
Which is what they use a lot. Like,
it's
that term
really
they
big
use.
at the moment. It's horrible.
Yeah, they use that term a lot for trans people, and
like with
mainly about
the
bathrooms. Yeah, it's painful to watch what's going on in America for the LGBT people. So,
but like there was like before everything kind of went back downhill a bit. There was some kind of hope because Dylan went to the White House.
Yes,
which was really cool. To like speak to Joe Biden about like her journey and like trans rights and what trans Americans needed and the support that was needed. But I don't know, it's just
there are people that are making fun of her, and it's just shocking to see that these people that make fun of her, like, they're getting away with a lot. Like, a lot.
She dealt with it really well, though.
She has. There was radio silence after the Bud Light debacle. There was a lot of radio silence where she didn't post online, like on TikTok or on Instagram, anywhere. And then when she finally did, it was a couple weeks later. And like, her video was... handled the situation so well.
It's day 9,610 of being a human, and I'm going to try to leave gender out of this since that's how we found ourselves here. And it was so loud that I didn't even feel part of the conversation. So I decided to take the back seat and just let them tucker themselves out. But then I remembered that nearly 13 million people at some point enjoyed me enough to hit the follow button on these apps. And I was like, wait, I want to talk to those people. So hi, long time no talk, how are you? You might want to grab a beverage, this is going to be a longer one.
She didn't give them that much time of day because, of course, with people that do that, it's just mainly for attention. Like, the people who act out about something, it's mainly for attention.
Yeah.
Honestly. So, with her not giving them the satisfaction of that much of a reaction.
I think she even like made a little like pun going grab a beverage and it was just
she is just a
really
queen
brilliant
at the minute.
We stan.
Honestly. We do.
Old tradition in the way
yes, tradition. Like, tradition has harmed so many because everybody just wants to go back to the olden days and everything. But back in the olden days,
we were oppressed.
There was so much oppression.
Yeah.
What type of olden days do you want to go back to? The plague? When you're crocheting, you can just... The muscle memory is there. So...
Hopefully I'll get there with it. Because I'm learning guitar. And so I'm kind of getting a bit of muscle memory with that. So hopefully with this, I'll kind of pick it up a little bit more, like, swiftly.
Bit more fluidly.
Fluid.
But yeah, I could just sit there and crochet for hours and not realise time's gone by.
So
and then by the
therapeutic.
time I run out of wool, I'm just like, oh,
Where's
okay.
it all gone?
Where's my wool gone? Because I've only got that much left and I started with a full ball.
You crochet too fast. It's wild.
I crochet a lot slower than my parent. Like,
really?
than my mom. Yes. Probably than my nan, but that's because they've had a lot more practice. I only started at the start of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
You're more of a master at it than me.
I'm just a god.
A crochet god.
I am a genius, as Jeremy Clarkson would say.
Sometimes my genius is... It's almost frightening.
A genius.
My genius is outstanding. Something like that. It's a fabulous Jeremy Clarkson quote. But...
We don't stand.
He's controversial.
He is very controversial, yeah.
I do enjoy the Grand Tour. But that's because I really like Richard Hammond.
Yeah.
He was always my favourite from there.
I think he's quite best as far as I'm aware.
Yes, Rich. He also owns a Land Rover. Not any Land Rover, but a Land Rover Defender. And I'm a fan of that.
You like your Land Rovers, don't you?
I do. But that has nothing to do with crochet or anything gay.
That's true.
There's nothing very gay about a Land Rover. At all. Unless there are lesbians driving it, then... Yeah, no.
But even with, like, beverages, like, the funny thing about, like the whole thing as well is the fact that when these, like, people are sat there being like, oh, well, like, I'm gonna go buy some Jack Daniel's whiskey, and then, like, I think, I don't know if it's the same company, but, like, Jack Daniel's whiskey, as far as I'm aware, is very, like, LGBTQ plus, like, friendly, like, and...
as well as their cars.
Yeah.
Like the Ford, most of the people who have been enraged about this Bud Light thing with Dylan mostly drive the Ford pickup trucks. But Ford is very, very actively in the community, in Pride, and another leading manufacturer, Toyota, pickup trucks, is also massively in the queer scene.
Which is amazing.
So
they clearly haven't done their research, but it's...
Oh no.
It's very amusing.
It's quite funny to watch these people
and like
lose
I remember
their minds over something as simple as a queer person being sponsored. They're not the face of the brand.
Yeah.
Like, Dylan Mulvaney is not the face of Bud Light, but she was sponsored by them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people get sponsored all the time. YouTubers get sponsored by...
absolutely.
Is it like Genshin Impact, shall we say?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. But they're not the face of the company.
Yeah.
So, it's a very weird thing that some people just don't do their research either.
No.
Not at all. So, with that, that has been our debate. Debate?
Debate.
It's a debate now.
That's been our episode.
That has been the granny squares. And if you can make a granny square.
I've gotten a little bit better with doing rows.
Oh, I love that.
So there's improvement.
There is improvement. So yeah, with granny squares you can do many things with them. Mainly blankets and jumpers and tops, but you can also do shoes. You can also, yeah, you could do shoes. That's
wonderful.
And slippers and everything. So with that, we will see you in the next video.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.